Hello everyone, welcome to Fatma Sami's channel. Today's video is about grade 5 semester 1, unit 2, then and now. Exercise number 1. How many things can you find that use electricity? For example, a computer uses electricity. Let's see the answers. Computer, CD player, lamp, telephone, oven, tablet, mobile phone. Now, let's look at the stopwatch and see the questions and try to answer them. Let's see the answers. Number 1. What's wrong in the picture? The name of the newspaper is Barkwords. Number 2. What are Sami and Fatma's mom and dad doing in the photos? At the first picture, he is studying. She is calling someone on the phone. She is watching Sami build a sand castle. She is writing a letter. He is working on the computer. She is walking on the beach carrying Sami. She is baking a cake. They are posing for the photo. He is playing in the garden. He is throwing a ball. Number 3. Which are the oldest photos? The first 2 photos in the left upper corner. Lesson 1, Part 1. Exercise number 2. Listen, point, under beat. Now let's see. How many things in the photos we have already talked about in the lesson? Where's the mobile phone? Do you see the boy in the picture 11? He is calling someone. Who do you think he is calling? Look at the pictures and do the activity. Exercise number 3. Look for the words from activity 2 in the picture on page 36. Write the missing word. Let's see the answer. Email. Exercise number 4. What is it? Listen and point to the picture in activity 2. Listen carefully and point to the pictures. Number 1. Sound of keyboard. Number 2. Sound of mouse clicking. Number 3. Sound of phone ringing. Exercise number 5. Describe a word to your partner. In this activity, you need to describe another technology word if you have to make it harder, or describe one word from activity 2. Keep making sentences about the thing without using the word until your friend guess what is it. Exercise number 1. Before you read, how many different types of phone can you find in the story? Let's see the answers. Telephone, speaking tube, Discovery Team string phone. Exercise number 2. Watch or listen and read. Look at the pictures carefully and listen to the audio. The secret phone. Sami, here's my project. It's about how things were different 10 years ago and more. Luti, look at these photos. Your mom and dad look so young. Were they in Oman in those photos? Sami, yes, they were. Number 2. Boo said, was everything very different 10 years ago? Sami said, not really, no. Most things were the same. Mom and dad didn't have a tablet, but they had a computer. You could send emails, but people still wrote letters. Luti, wow, that computer was really big. Number 3. Boo said, what's that? Sami said, that's a telephone. Everyone had one, but you couldn't walk around with it. Now everyone has mobile phones. Number 4. Luti said, "Hey, look at this. Here's a picture of a speaking tube. 100 years ago, people in big houses used them like a phone." Number 5. Sami said, "Hey, let's make something like this." Fatma said, "Good idea." Luti, "Why don't we make a secret discovery team code? Then it can be our secret phone and we can call each other." Now, let's go to the other page and complete our story. Number 6. Half an hour later, Sami said, "So, I found 2 canes and a hose. Fatma, I found some string." Number 8. Fatma, "Thanks, boo. Now, carry the other end to Luti's house." Number 9. Mom told me about this code. It's great. Number 10. Luti, Elohai atmofai, Elohai obey, Elohai amisei. Exercise number 3. What does Luti say? Go to page 106 to find out. Let's see the answer. Hello, Fatma. Hello, Boo. Hello, Sami. Exercise number 4. After you read, match the sentence halves. Read carefully and match each sentence with the other halves correctly. Let's read the answers. Number 1. Sami's project is about how things were different 10 years ago. Number 2. 10 years ago, people sent emails and letters. Number 3. 100 years ago, people in big houses used speaking tubes to talk to each other. Number 4. Luti has an idea for a secret discovery team code. Number 5. The children make a speaking tube to go between their 2 houses. Exercise number 5. Act out the story. Now let's go in 2 groups of 4. Allocate a role to each one. Fatma, Luti, Sami, and Boo. Now let's act out the story in groups. Exercise number 6. Make sentences in Discovery Team code about what you did last weekend. In this activity, write sentences in your class notebook. Now put the sentences in code and write the code sentences in your class notebook. Swap the codes with your friends, like the examples in the boxes. Lesson 3, Part 1. Exercise number 1. Look back. Take the sentence in this picture. Let's read the sentences and look for the answers. Number 1. Now everyone has mobile phones. Number 2. Mom and Dad didn't have a tablet, but they had a computer. Number 3. 100 years ago, people in big houses used them like a phone. Exercise number 2. Watch or listen and repeat. Number 1. Was everything very different 10 years ago? Number 2. That computer was really big. Number 3. Did you have a phone 10 years ago? Number 4. Yes, we did. We had a phone in the house, but we didn't have a mobile phone. Exercise number 3. Put the pictures in the correct order, then listen and check. Look at the pictures and think what you see. Now listen carefully. 30 years ago, when he was a child, Faisal's dad went to the beach with his family. He played with his sister and they ate ice creams. Then he went swimming in the sea. Suddenly, he started moving out to sea. He tried to swim back to the beach, but he was a long way out when the lifeguard on the beach come to get him or their surfboards. Now Faisal is always very careful and he swims near the beach and near his family. Let's see the answers. Exercise number 4. Retell Faisal's story about his dad, write the past tense of the verbs in the brackets. Let's see the answers. Number 1, was. Number 2, went. Number 3, played. Number 4, ate. Number 5, went. Number 6, started. Number 7, tried. Number 8, came. Exercise number 5. Tell your partner about a story from your childhood. Include one piece of crazy information. Like the example in the books. Like what happened, where were you, who was with you. Lesson 4, Part 1. Exercise number 1. Listen, point, and repeat. Look at the pictures and listen carefully. Number 1. Post a letter. Number 2. Send an email. Number 3. Make a face. Number 4. Tell a story. Number 5. Hold a pen. Number 6. Win a race. Number 7. Make a sandwich. Number 8. Tie a shoelace.
What could you do when you were 2? When I was 2, I could hold a big pen, but I couldn't write the number 10. What could you do when you were 4? When I was 4, I could make a face, but I really couldn't tie a shoelace.
What could you do when you were 6? When I was 6, I could tell a story, although my sister said it was boring. What could you do when you were 8? When I was 8, I could write a letter, but I thought sending an email was better.
Exercise number 3. Watch or listen and repeat. Man said, when I was 1, I could walk, but I couldn't talk. Woman said, could you talk when you were 2? Man said, yes, I could. No, I couldn't. Exercise number 4. In pairs, ask and answer. What could you do when you were 5? What couldn't you do? Like the example in the box shown on the page. Exercise number 5. Student A, activity book, page 62. Student B, activity book, page 64. Lesson 5, Part 1. Exercise number 1. Before you read, what are your favorite museum? Look at the icons next to the museum names and the photos. Predict what you will see in the museums. Exercise number 2. Listen and read. Look at the photos again and listen carefully. Number 1. World Museums. Last year, I visited some amazing museums. I love learning about the past, and in these museums, I learned a lot of different things. Number 2. Oman across the ages. When I went to the Wilayat of Manah, I visited the Oman Across the Ages Museum. It's a beautiful and very large modern building. I learned a lot about Oman's history. There were ancient tools, old photographs, painting and model boats. There was so much to see and do. It was amazing. Number 3. Shanghai Museum of Science and Technology. I like science and technology, so I love this museum in Shanghai in China. You can explore technology from today and also learn about Chinese inventions from hundreds of years ago. There are lots of activities for children. I did a science workshop and learned all about robot design. I also watched a film about exploring space. It was fantastic. Number 4. Natural History Museum. I visited this museum in London, England, on holiday. Here I saw a T-Rex and a blue whale, and I learned about plants and volcanoes. Do you know what an earthquake is? It's when the earth shakes. At the Natural History Museum, I went into a room and the floor started shaking like an earthquake. It was so exciting. Exercise number 3. Which museum do you want to visit and why? After you listen and watch the museums, now answer the question like the example in the box. Lesson 5, Part 2. Exercise number 1. In groups, choose a museum in Oman. Like the one that we read about on the last page. Exercise number 2. Find information about the museum. For example, what can you see there? What can you do there? Exercise number 3. Write about your museum. In this activity, you should work on the museum of your choice. You should provide pictures and at least 4 facts. You should remember that you need to use the phrases in your book. Exercise number 4. Tell the class about your museum. You should read the speaking tip and speak loudly and clearly. Exercise number 5. Have a class vote. Which museum do you want to visit? Lesson 6. Exercise number 1. Circle the things you can see in a history museum and align the things you can see in a science museum. Let's see the answers. The things that we can see in a history museum is boats, telephones, swords. The things that we can see in a science museum is robots, planes. Exercise number 2. Watch or listen. Which museum does Jake want to visit? You will listen to a conversation between Jake and a museum employee. You have to listen and find out which museum Jake wants to visit. Let's start. Listen carefully. The boy said, "Hello, I would like some information about the National Museum, please." The man said, "Yes, of course. What do you want to know?" The boy said, "What can you see and do there?" The man said, "You can learn about boats, farms, coins, and many other things about Omani's history." The boy said, "It sounds great. What time does it open and close?" The man said, "It's open Saturday to Thursday from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. The boy said, "Okay, thank you very much." The man said, "You are welcome. Enjoy your visit." Exercise number 3. Watch or listen again. Read and check. Now let's confirm the answer of activity 2, which is the National Museum. Exercise number 4. In pairs, ask for and give information about a different museum, like the example shown in the books. Exercise number 5. Listen and say the tongue twister. Now, listen carefully. I visited the museum and I looked for a T-Rex. But I couldn't find a T-Rex anywhere. So I cried on the street. Yes, I cried on the street. And then I saw a T-Rex there. Lesson 7. Exercise number 1. Before you read, look at the title. What do you already know about cardboard? Exercise number 2. Listen and read. Majid's science plug. How cardboard is like a bridge. Number 1. Hello everyone. Today I visited a museum and found out a lot of amazing information about cardboard. Number 2. In 1879, a Scottish engineer called Robert Gere invented the cardboard box. Robert Gere could make a lot of cardboard boxes very quickly. And so for the first time, food companies could use cardboard to hold food. In 1906, a food company started using very thin cardboard boxes for its cereal. This was the first time that a box had the name and the picture of the food on the outside. Number 3. Today, we use cardboard boxes for many different things because cardboard is so strong. Number 4. Do you know why cardboard is so strong? Inside each piece of cardboard, there are a lot of triangles. Triangles are really strong. They can carry a lot. Do you sometimes make a house of cards? If you use triangles, it works. If you try it with square shapes, it doesn't work. Try it and see. The triangle shape is the strongest. Number 5. I learned that there are triangle shapes everywhere. In bridges, in houses, on bikes, and even on kites. Look at these pictures. Can you find the triangles? Exercise number 3. After you read, write the paragraph number for each heading. Let's see the answers. A. Triangles everywhere. Number 5. B. Introduction. Number 1. C. Why cardboard is strong. Number 4. D. History of cardboard. Number 2. E. Cardboard today. Number 3. Lesson 8, Part 1. Exercise number 1. Listen and match. What place did each child go to? Let's listen carefully and match the pictures to each other. Hoda and her friends Budur and Jude are talking about the places they visited on holiday. What place did each child go to? Hi Budur, hi Jude. Hi Hoda, did you have a good summer? How was your holiday? It was great, thanks. We went to Paris for a week. I loved it. What did you do there, Hoda? We walked a lot, we visited parks, we went to the zoo, and we went to one of the most famous art museums in the world. It's called the Louvre. It sounds fun. I went to a museum, too, when I was on holiday. What kind of museum was it, Budur? It was a car museum. My dad loves cars. I didn't think it was very interesting, though. I like bikes better. How about you, Jude? What did you do on holiday? I visited my granny. She lives at the seaside. I love going there. I didn't go to any museums, but I went to a fun fair. I went on a roller coaster. It was the best. Now, let's see the answers. Number 1, match with B. Number 2, matches with C. Number 3, matches with D. Exercise number 2. Talk about a visit to a museum. Watch the kids and see the boxes about the examples they talked about. Exercise number 3. Read the report. Where did Sami go? Now, let's listen carefully to the report to answer the question. My visit to the Louvre Abu Dhabi. On 20 September, I visited the Louvre Abu Dhabi United Arab Emirates with my family. It has around 700 paintings from around the world. It's special because the building is very modern. I think it's very beautiful, with lots of light. We walked around the building. Then we went inside and looked at the art. You could see many different types of art from history and also furniture, statues, and jewelry. I learned a lot about history and modern buildings when I was there. Now, let's see the answer. The Louvre Abu Dhabi. Exercise number 4. Write a report about your visit to a museum or another interesting place. First, plan. Where did you go? What's special about it? What could you do there? What did you learn? 2. Write. Write the example on the box. 3. Check your work. Start with a date. used paragraphs? Lesson 9, exercise number 1. Look at the picture and answer the questions. Let's read the questions with the answers. Number 1. Find 8 words from this unit. CD player, tie a shoelace, tablet, computer, email, keyboard, mouse, carry. Number 2. Who is holding something? What is it? The boy who is in the room? A pen. Number 3. Who is carrying something? What is it? The man who is in the kitchen, the shopping. Number 4. Who is thinking about posting a letter? The boy who is in the room upstairs. Number 5. Who is sending an email? The woman who is in the living room downstairs. Number 6. Who is learning something new? The girl who is in the bedroom. Tie a shoelace. Number 7. Who is making a face? The girl who is in the bedroom. Number 8. Who is making a sandwich? The woman who is in the kitchen. Exercise number 2. What couldn't you do when you were 5 that you can do now? Look at the example in the box. Challenge your classmates and play the game. Work in 2 teams. Look back through the unit to find the answers to these questions. Question number 1. Find a mustache. Number 2. Why does the floor shake in the Natural History Museum? Number 3. Who invented the cardboard box? Now think of 3 more questions to ask the other team. Let's see the answers. Number 1. Dad, then and now. Lesson 1. Number 2. To make it feel like an earthquake. Lesson 5. Number 3. Robert Gere. Lesson 7. Lesson 10. A1. Movers Speaking Part 3. Exercise number 1. Which picture is different and why? In all of these pictures, we need to find the different picture from the others, like the examples in the books. Let's see the answers. Number 1. Picture A is the different one because he hasn't got a mustache. Number 2. Picture D because it isn't an animal. Number 3. Picture C because it isn't a telephone. A1 movers reading and writing part 3. Let's read the exam tip. Read the text and all the options first before choosing. Exercise number 2. Read the text, choose a word from the box, write the correct word. Read the paragraph, look at all the words and put the correct answer at the correct place. Let's read the words. Music, computer, CD player, race, emails. Now, let's read the paragraph with the answers. I love technology. I have got a computer on my desk at home. I use it to do my homework and to send emails. Sometimes I listen to music on it, but usually I listen on my mom's CD player. I love running too, and I want to win a race. Exercise number 1. Work in pairs, say the numbers, write, say and spell the words. At the books we have numbers and letters. Each number has a corresponding letter. For example, number 1 means letter A. Number 2 means letter B. And like this. Now look at the questions here and try to order them to make a correct word. Let's see the answers. Number 1, email. Number 2, keyboard. Number 3, tablets. Number 4, telephone. Number 5, computer. Number 6, letter. Number 7, CD player. Number 8, mobile phone. Exercise number 2. Now write a message in numbers for your partner to read. Spell the words. Think of a short message for your partner. You can write in your class notebook before you put it in code, but you should make sure your partner can't see it. Exercise number 3. In pairs, take turns to make a phrase and ask and answer a question. Make a phrase from the words in the box. Like the examples, could you make a face when you were 6? Yes, I could. I could make a face. Exercise number 4. Work in pairs. Choose a phrase, mime and guess. Graded Reader 1. At the Technology Museum, last Saturday, Avi visited a technology museum with her mom. Good morning. I would like some information about this room, please. Yes, of course. What do you want to know? What can we see and do there? Can I learn about the bust? Yes, you can. You can play old computer games, listen to music, and use old telephones. Look, Mom, you couldn't send an email on this computer, but you could play games. You use the keyboard to play this game. It's fun. Everything was very different 40 years ago. We didn't have tablets or mobile phones, but I loved playing computer games. They were fun. Then Avi found some unusual things in the museum. She saw something and made a face. What are these, Mom? Are they telephones? Yes, Avi. Those telephones are very old. Many years ago, telephones didn't have buttons. Look, this telephone is newer. It has got buttons. And what is this? Is it an old computer? No, Avi, this is a letterbox. You can buy a postcard in the museum, shop and post it here. Oh, of course, a letterbox. Let's buy a postcard for Granddad. Posting a letter or a postcard is more interesting than sending an email. Grade 3 there too. The special race. Holt found an old medal. He asked his dad about it. When Dad was young, he was really good at running. He also studied science in Britain. When he was in Britain, he ran lots of races. This race was special because he ran in a penguin costume. Look, I have got some great photos on my tablet. Do you want to see them? Yes, please. Wow, look at your wings and your long beak. When you were in your penguin costume, could you run? Yes, I could run slowly in my penguin costume. I tried to run quickly, but I couldn't. I could see my trainers, but I couldn't tie my shoelace. My friend tied my shoelace for me. How did you drink? I could carry a bottle of water, but I couldn't open it very well. The water went everywhere, but not in my beak. At the end of the race, I couldn't call my friends because we didn't have mobile phones then. But they found me quickly in my penguin costume. Did you win the race, Dad? No, Khalid, I couldn't win the race in a penguin costume, but winning wasn't important. I had my medal, and my photo was in the newspaper the next day. Look. That's great. Unit 2, Graded Reader 1. Exercise number 1, before you read. Number 1, read the title of the story on page 50. Answer the questions. Number 1, what is a technology museum? Number 2, what did you think you can do there? Number 2, now look at the picture on page 50. Answer the questions. Number 1, what things can you see behind the people? Number 2, what did you think the girl and her mom are going to do? Let's see the answers. Number 1, a museum where you can learn about technology. Number 2, computers, laptops, CD player. Exercise number 2, listen and read. Read the story quickly. Where your ideas from before you read, correct? Number 2, read the story again, then find these things in the story, pictures. Let's see the answers. Number 1, postcard. Number 2, computer. Number 3, telephone. Number 4, letterbox. Number 5, CD player. Number 6, laptop. Exercise number 3. Number 1, answer the questions. Question number 1, what things can people do at the Technology Museum? Number 2, what does AV do on an old computer? Number 3, why does AV want to buy a postcard for her granddad? Let's see the answers. Number 1, they can play old computer games, listen to music, use old telephones, and post a postcard in a letterbox. Answer number 2, she plays a computer game. Answer number 3, she thinks posting a postcard is more interesting than sending an email. Question number 2, over to you. Do you think posting a letter or postcard is more interesting than sending an email? Why or why not? Write your ideas. Number 3, tell the story to a friend or family member. Exercise number 1, before you read. Number 1, read the title of the story on page 54. Answer the questions. Now let's see the questions with the answers. Number 1, what is a race? You can use a dictionary to help you. A competition between people to see which one is the fastest. Question number 2, what do you think a special race is? Number 2, now look at the picture on page 54. Answer the questions. Question number 1, where are the boy and his dad? Number 2, what is the boy holding? Whose do you think it is? The answer is 1, at home. 2, a medal. Exercise number 2, listen and read. Number 1, read the story quickly. Were your ideas from before you read correct? Number 2, read the story again. Find these things in the story pictures. Write the words. Let's see the answers. Number 1, newspaper. Number 2, medal. Number 3, trainers. Number 4, beak. Number 5, water bottle. Number 6, tablet. Exercise number 3. After you read, answer the questions. Number 1, what and where did Khalid's dad study when he was young? Number 2, what did Khalid's dad wear in a special race? Number 3, did Khalid's dad run quickly? Why? Let's see the answers. Number 1, science in Britain. Number 2, a penguin costume. Number 3, no, he didn't, because he couldn't run quickly in his costume. Question number 2, why do you think winning wasn't important to Khalid's dad? Write your ideas. Question number 3, tell the story to a friend or family member. We have reached to the end of our video today. Thank you for listening and watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.